All right, guys, I'm making everyone watching this video an attorney just for this video so that you can see how complicated or easy in your mind it is to apply facts to the law. So in this case, we hear a lot of conversation about coercive control. In fact, I was at what's called a continuing legal education class today where these two's Commissioner Manas, gave a lecture about new legislation in family law in the state of Utah, which included the addition of coercive control as a statutory definition of domestic violence. What I thought would be interesting for everybody for the weekend would be, I'm going to give you the definition of coercive control, the 9 patterns of behavior that Utah law recognizes as elements or aspects of, or indicia of coercive control. And then I want to hear from you in the comments, what facts do you think would lead or would follow any of the definitions of coercive control to see if in fact this is a coercive control case, okay? So first, let's talk about the definition. And I'm having to pause the video because my phone keeps getting so excited. It keeps falling down, it fell down, it was a whole thing, so just hang on. Okay, so coercive control means an individual's pattern of behavior that intentionally or in effect, meaning if they meant to or if they didn't mean to, but it created this, that unreasonably interferes with another individual's ability to make or act on independent decisions. So it's really saying, look, there's a pattern of behavior from someone that either they're intending to or the consequence of their behavior makes me not feel reasonably interferes with my ability to make or act independent decisions, okay? So it's a pattern, and Utah law provides 9 instances where this pattern may be present. Let's go through those 9 and be listening. Which ones are the most relevant to you and which ones do you think you have facts to support, okay? The first is isolating another individual from friends, relatives, or sources of support. 2, depriving another individual of basic necessities. 3, controlling, regulating, or excessively monitoring another individual's movements, communications, daily behavior, or access to services. 4, controlling, regulating, excessively monitoring, depriving, or limiting another's individual finances, access to finances, or economic resources. I'm just going to keep going lower. 5, controlling or threatening to harm or kill another individual, a relative of the individual, or a household animal that is owned or kept by the individual. Let's hang on, 6. Okay, 6, threatening self-harm if another individual does not comply with the individual's demands. 7, threatening to publish information with the intent to harass or intimidate another individual. 8, damaging property or household goods. Or 9, compelling another individual by force, threat of force, or intimidation to engage in conduct from which the other individual has a right to abstain, meaning you're going to force them to do something that they have the right not to do, or B, abstain from conduct which they have the right to do, to not do something that they would have the right to do. And then this, that coercive control does not include reasonable and appropriate parental conduct undertaken in the care of the minor child. Okay, so be lawyers for the day. Hang on. Okay, so be a lawyer for today. Looking at this definition and what you all know so well, or at least seem to know so well on some of the facts related to this case, let me know, do you think this is a case where there's demonstrated coercive control? And what facts would be relevant to that? What ones do you think don't apply? Let's get some dialogue that isn't just talking about how handsome I look in this new haircut. All right, enjoy your weekend, everybody.